As the full-time whistle blew, Aaron Ramsdale turned to the Leicester fans, pounded the Arsenal badge on his chest, and took a bow. For most of the second half, the home fans had been taunting him with disparaging chants, and clearly, the young keeper was delighted in proving them wrong. Ramsdale, along with his fellow summer signings, have been doing a lot of that lately. It's not too long since the transfer window closed, and the club were rock bottom of the Premier League without a point or goal. Overall, it's fair to say that Arsenal's summer business left many, including some of their own fans, underwhelmed and disappointed. As Gary Neville said on Sky Sports, they're spending a load of money, but I have to say I'm not quite sure what the strategy is with Arsenal in respect of the transfer market. It does seem all over the place. 9 games later, those assessments are beginning to look hasty and somewhat reactionary. Arsenal's form has stabilized, and there are some encouraging signs from this new look side, who are now unbeaten in 9 games across all competitions. Let's take a look at Arsenal's summer signings, and why, for once, it seems as if Arsenal have got their summer business spot on. According to many fans, when Arsenal first signed Aaron Ramsdale, it would have been ranked as one of the worst deals of the transfer window. However, his performance against Leicester was the best example of his fantastic start he has made to his Arsenal career. According to Opta, his 8 saves, including an early contender for save of the season in which he denied James Maddison, were the most saves made by any Arsenal goalkeeper while keeping a clean sheet since Petr Cech in 2015. So far, Ramsdale has been protected by the impressive duo of Gabriel and Ben White, the latter of whom would have also been ranked as one of the worst signings of the summer window. While recruitment has been a big issue at Arsenal over the last few years, there are finally signs that Edu and his team are beginning to get it right. With 6 new signings all under the age of 23, the strategy, contrary to Neville's argument, could not be more clear. Furthermore, none of the new signings are on the extravagant salaries, which has allowed Edu and Arsenal to rebalance the wage bill after years of overpaying players. All in all, it was quite fitting that last weekend's victory was over Leicester, who have been a model of intelligent recruitment for some time now. In fact, it's been the Fox's recruitment strategy that has enabled them to leapfrog Arsenal in the Premier League in recent years. Perhaps the London club are finally learning something from their rivals, as their last couple of wins over Villa and Leicester have seen them give starts to both Albert Sambi Lokonga and Nuno Tavares, neither of whom were exactly household names on arrival, but were both young, gifted, and reasonably priced. You could say they felt like Leicester transfers, but ultimately Arsenal gambled on their potential, and for the 2 young stars to be making a positive contribution this early in their careers should be considered a significant win for Edu and Arteta. If we're being honest, Edu has not always inspired confidence among the Arsenal fans. If the signing of David Luiz split opinions amongst the fan base, then the signing of Willian unified it. However, it was fascinating that Arteta picked out Edu and his new recruitment team for special praise over the signing of Tavares this weekend. Arsenal spent much of the past year searching the globe for a left-back of the appropriate profile to be an understudy to Kieran Tierney before the signing of Tavares was proposed. In the 21-year-old Portuguese fullback, Arsenal have found the perfect fit. Meanwhile, the signings of Aaron Ramsdale and Ben White were different kinds of signings. For starters, they were 2 players far more known to Arsenal's coaching team, while they also came with the premium that is often attached to English players. Ramsdale cost Arsenal an initial £24 million, with a further £6 million of add-ons. In the case of Ben White, Arsenal ultimately agreed to meet Brighton's £50 million asking price. With such high price tags, it's difficult to ever label either of them as bargains. However, neither of them could be considered as wastes, considering both have settled quickly and have already strengthened this Arsenal team. Add in Takehiro Tomiyasu, who has impressed as a defensive-minded right-back, and it begins to look like a very decent window. Strangely enough, it's arguably Martin Odegaard who came with the least to prove, who may now have the most to prove, having started on the bench in Arsenal's last 2 games. A final word too for Gabriel, who has been overlooked as he is not quite as shiny or as new as Arsenal's more recent signings, but having arrived in the summer of 2020 and after a debut season that was filled with inconsistencies, he's beginning to emerge as the cornerstone of this new defensive unit. Tall, powerful, and comfortable on the ball, he has all the ingredients of a very good central defender. Now, it looks as if he's beginning to put things together. All in all, for this group of players, it is still very early days. Arsenal's summer signings will be judged over the next few years and not the last few games. There are still many key questions that remain unanswered. How will Ramsdale respond to his first mistake? Can Tavares add the final ball and decision-making to complement his audacious spirit? And will Ben White become the talisman he has the potential to be? In football, judgments fluctuate frequently. Right now, however, they are in Arsenal's favour. It was a summer recruitment plan that was widely mocked, but now looks pretty astute. For today at least, take that bow, Ramsdale. Take that bow.